Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I bring you trade paperbacks and single issues broken down into a digestible bite to allow you to understand what's going on. Today, we're going to be covering a new superhero from DC, a character known as Sideways. You see, once the DC Metal event ended, various multiversal portals opened up and everyone got superpowers. This introduced us to characters like Sideways and Damage. This is part 2 of the Sideways storyline. I hope you enjoy. With the age of social media becoming the new mainstream, it's no surprise that people can watch news unfold about superheroes and supervillain fights from their phones, and Derek James, well, he's no exception. As Derek shows his best friend Ernie the video feed of the villain replicant beating up on the hero Hotspot, he says, "This is it. This is gonna be our chance to take Sideways prime time! What could possibly go wrong?" Ernie asks, what could go wrong? Like the last time a woman lost her arm, Derek. Derek says, I know, it was a terrible accident, but this is different. This is totally different. Ernie tells him, right, not sure if that's even possible. Besides, the fact that you're getting involved is ridiculously dangerous. Aren't you supposed to be meeting your mom for lunch? Derek brushes it off, telling her that that's not for another hour. He'll be back way before then. All he has to do is rift in, grab the bad guy, and rift out before he knows what happened. And then dump him in some place before rifting back to take some pictures. Easy peasy. As Derek gets changed, Ernie tells him that she thinks that this is a bad idea. Does he even know anything about Replicant, like powers, weakness, or anything? And Derek starts opening a rift, telling her that he'll figure all that out when he gets there. And Ernie grabs him by the arm, stating that that is not the smartest move. Maybe he should Google him first? Derek says if anything, they should be Googling him. Besides, he's doing this for the video. When he gets back, everyone remembers Step Out with Sideways. Ernie sighs and tells him, fine, just don't forget about your mother. You already put her through enough. Derek laughs, telling her that the meeting is at 2. Plenty of time. Meanwhile, back over at Dark Star Sciences, Derek's mother Helen tells her aide Sandy that he was supposed to be here at 1 and it's already 1:15. Sandy says, well, they both know that Miss Dominus does not like to be kept waiting, and it's rather unwise to keep her waiting. Helen then shuts her laptop, telling Sandy that she's only had her job for a month. If she would like to hold her opinions, maybe she can make it 2. A few moments later, in Leto Dominus' office, Helen walks in, and before Helen can even say hello, Leto tells her that she's late. Helen sits down, stating that she knows and she's sorry. She's waiting on her son Derek since he's supposed to be joining them. Leto asks, wasn't that the purpose of this meeting? If he is serious about this internship, then this is not the best way to impress. Internships at Dark Star are already in high demand, and we turn away more and more applicants every year. We only hire the best, the brightest, and the most dedicated. You should know this. Helen says yes, she is well aware of their standards, and once she meets Derek, she will know that he has everything it takes to work here. Leto then tells Helen that she may know her, but she doesn't know her son, so tell her, what makes him so special? Meanwhile, over in Metropolis, Replicant tells the young hero Hotspot that he's decided to copy and keep his powers since he'll no longer be needing them. But as Replicant attacks, a rift opens up, pulling Hotspot away, and Replicant ends up punching nothing. As Hotspot opens up his eyes, he sees Derek helping him walk away, and he asks, who are you? And Derek tells him, my name is Sideways. Perhaps you've heard of me? And Hotspot tells him no. So Derek says, well, I've never heard of you either. Hotspot coughs, telling him that he's not surprised. He's only done a short run with the Teen Titans before he walked away from the whole hero thing. Replicant then shouts, calling to the two of them, asking where do they think they're going, and after setting up some local police in the fire, Replicant fires an explosive blast, knocking both Derek and Hotspot to the ground. Replicant walks up, telling Hotspot to just stay down. He needs to talk to the new playmate at the moment. He then picks Derek up by his shoulders, absorbing his powers, telling him, let's see what you're all about. Derek then kicks himself away, stating that he's feeling a little uncomfortable. I'm just gonna back away now. Replicant then begins to open up small little rifts, and Derek tells him Replicant totally should have seen that coming. Replicant then looks at the rifts, stating, now this is interesting. I might need to learn a little bit about how your powers work. Derek tells him that he better be careful. Those things are really dangerous. But before Replicant can do anything, Hotspot jumps on his back, which Replicant then quickly grabs him, throwing him into Derek. As the two get back up, Replicant tells them getting 2 powers for the price of 1 isn't bad. Too bad it's time for you to die. He aims another fiery blast at the boys, and Derek says, watch this, and he opens up a rift. The fire shoots into the rift and then shoots out of another rift, opening up behind Replicant. As he begins to burn, he shouts, no! The suit is failing! And Derek sighs, telling him, do people not make their costumes flame resistant? Come on! Derek grabs one of the fire hoses, spraying down Replicant, and as Replicant walks through, he shouts, all you've done is make things worse! He goes to wipe himself off, and as he does, he accidentally opens up a rift on himself, which leads to him exploding. Later that day, as Derek returns home, he heads into his room where he gets a text from Ernie. She asks if he forgot to meet his mom, and Derek says that maybe he should just quit this whole thing. He's already created enough of a mess. Maybe he can go back to having a normal life. But as Derek opens the door to his room, he sees Tempest sitting there. Tempest tells him, "Young Derek, the dimensional lines are breaking down faster than I expected. Forgive the intrusion, but if we're going to begin training you, it seemed like now was the right time." Back at Dark Star Sciences, though, Helen is getting ready to go home for the day, and as she stops by Leto's office, she apologizes again for earlier. Leto tells her not to worry. They will be setting up a proper interview. Besides, it was nice talking about something other than business. As Helen leaves, another man walks in and Leto asks, "Do you have the scans that I sent Professor Portfoy?" Portfoy says that he went over the scans, and while Helen was exposed to dark matter, her body contains no residual energy on it. Leto sighs, stating that she thought so. She's useless. Pity. Portfoy then goes on to a large screen, switching images to images of Derek in his sideways costume, and says that they have teams tracking his every appearance. However, even though the data that they collected is invaluable, it's still not enough to put anything together. Leto then tells him that that boy is the key to all of Dark Star Science's endeavors. He must be theirs. Find him and remove anything that stands in their way. Back in Derek's room, he shouts, asking, "Are you crazy? This is the bedroom, not some multilateral dimensional plane." He stops himself, sitting down, stating, "Oh wait, you're here to kill me, aren't you?" "Yeah, I've been a little busy and forgot about that." Tempest tells him, "Fear not, young Derek. That is not the reason of my visit. Events in the multiverse have grown dire, and it is in need of your power. Allow me to show you." A portal begins to open up, and both Derek and Tempest are pulled through. As Derek looks out at the infinite void of space, Tempest says, "Behold, the brainfold interior, the space between spaces, the time between times. From here, one could access any place that has ever been or ever could be. A physical manifestation of the hypertime abstraction. This is the home of the Fugonauts. The Fugonauts exist to make sure that the realities and potential realities do not interfere with one another. I myself have experienced firsthand what happens when realities intertwine when the mongrel Dark Knights invaded." Derek says, "So, my powers are causing these tears? You told me I needed to stop, and then you try to throw me off the side of a skyscraper." Tempest tells him, "Yes. It would seem that I acted unwisely in our previous encounter. I believed that you were the reason for all of this to be happening. While some of the disruptions are indeed the result of your activity, many are not. Now they must be sealed. The Fugonauts have their tasks, and I have mine. Your reality is fragile. You must protect it before it all comes crashing down." As Tempest says this, another portal opens and pulls Derek in, throwing him back into the reality of his room. The next day, Derek gets ready for school, and he thinks about what Tempest said. He wants him to become a reality cop or something. At least the sideways stuff is staying separate from his actual life. Just then, his phone goes off with a message from Ernie asking if he's seen the video yet. Derek asks what is she talking about, and she sends him a link to ViewTube. He begins to watch the video, and as he watches the opening of his first video, another person appears on the screen stating, "Look at what the showman has found! Another fake hero!" Derek says, No, I need to get to school before." As he runs out of his room, he runs into his mother, Helen, who tells him to wait. He stops asking what is it, and she goes on telling him that she can tell that something has been wrong lately. He's been withdrawn and distant, and he missed an interview that she set up at work. This has all started when he came back from Gotham. But he hasn't even appreciated what she did for him to get that interview for Dark Star Science's internship. Derek pauses and then says, "Well, you didn't tell me it was an interview." And Helen asks, "So you decided to blow off your mother? Is that how much I matter to you? Do you even care that you're ruining your life?" Derek hurries outside, stating that he doesn't need to worry about ruining his life. She already did it when she took him to Gotham. As Derek goes to school, he thinks to himself that that was a little rude of him. His mother didn't deserve that. He can make it up to her, but first, he's got to deal with the showman guy. But while walking down the hallways, another student by the name of Freddy stops Derek, asking what is he doing, watching the sideways video? You loser. And Derek quietly says no, he's watching the Snapchat that his mom DM'd him. Freddy grabs Derek, asking, "What did you say?" And suddenly Ernie runs up shouting, "He said shut up, and now I'm saying it. Or maybe you want to try and push me around." But before Freddy can even defend himself, Ernie's sister, Emmeline, walks up asking what he's trying to do to her sister now, because anything is a bad idea. With Emmeline starting to yell at Freddy, Ernie pulls Derek away, and once the two are alone, Derek says, "Great. Now I'm a loser as Derek and as Sideways." Ernie tells him that that isn't true. That would imply that she's best friends with a loser, which is simply not the case. Whatever his problem is, though, he needs to figure it out. Later, as the school lets out, Derek puts his headphones on, and he starts to walk home trying to figure out what he should do next. Since he's gotten his abilities, he's already hurt 2 people and nearly been killed. Now Tempest wants him to fix holes in reality. Why can't he just be Derek James again? As he walks, he gets a text from Ernie telling him to look up, and as he does, he sees Showman standing on a bus telling everyone, "I know Sideways is here. Now where is he? Sideways, you want to be a star? You want to be the big hero? Show yourself." Derek pushes his way through the crowd, and as he gets to Ernie, she says, "It's about time, loser." Derek asks, "What about that thing about not being best friends with a loser?" And Ernie says, "No, wait, I'm sorry. It's just, Him! The showman! It's his voice! He's trolling and it gets into everyone's head. You need to do something quickly. Showman goes on asking if Mr. Sideshow would like to show himself because it sure looks like this place is going to explode if he doesn't. Just then a rift opens up and Derek steps out asking, "Do you ever stop talking?" And the students then all begin to shout for them to fight. As Showman goes on, Ernie puts on her headphones stating that she really hopes this works. If she can't hear Showman, he can't mess with her. Derek reaches to grab Showman, but as he does, Showman swings stating that the fake hero is trying to infringe on his right to free speech. Showman then picks Derek up, throwing him to the ground, and then he jumps down to keep fighting against him. As Showman continues to punch into Derek, Showman then asks, "What's going on?" "I came for a show." Back in the crowd, Ernie pushes everyone aside, grabbing a hold of her sister Emmeline. Emmeline shouts, "Let go of me, you!" But before she can finish, Ernie slaps her, stating that she really doesn't have time for her to be herself. Now snap out of it! Over at the fight, Showman kicks Derek to the ground, asking, "What do you want? To be loved? To be famous? Are you just another loser?" Derek reaches out, opening up a rift, but before he can finish, Showman pulls him back by his legs, telling him, "Oh no, you don't. I came here to give these people a show, and now we're gonna unmask you to see if people can recognize you." The Showman reaches down for his mask, with Ernie shouting for him to let go. And the Showman asks, "What did you say, nasty girl? You think you can stop me?" Ernie tells him, yeah, say whatever crap you want. I'm not listening to Captain Super Troll. Emmeline then leans in, stating that he doesn't get to insult her sister. That's her job. The Showman starts to lose focus, and the students all in crowds begin to relax. Derek sees this and says that if the Showman is feeding off people's emotions for power, then he needs to get him out of there as soon as possible. With Showman's attention on Ernie and Emmeline, Derek grabs Showman and opens up a rift, pulling the both of them through. Showman then starts getting back up, asking if they think they can stop him. As the Showman swings, Derek easily dodges, telling him, "See, I can tell that you get your power from the people. But here, your crappy attitude can't affect anyone. And you know what?" Derek then punches Showman, telling him, "You've talked enough for today." While the Showman is being dropped off at the police station, over at Dark Star Sciences, Helen tells herself, "Okay, not doing anything suspicious. Just need to get some paper clips and maybe see what Derek's competition for the internship is." She sneaks into one of the offices and logs into another coworker's computer. As she looks, though, she sees files on Derek, except there's more data than a resume. She opens the file and sees a video playing, and it shows Derek rifting while he was at the hospital. Thank you for watching this episode of Sideways. I hope you guys really did enjoy. Sideways, Damage, and the Terrifics, they're my new favorite superheroes that are coming out of the new age of heroes here from DC. If you want to know more information about the new age of heroes and maybe the DC Metal event that launched this, check out the links down below. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the links to the DC Metal event, and to Damage, and to Sideways, and to Terrifics. You can check them all out. This is a pretty cool event going on at DC, and I personally got nothing more to say. It's just really fun and I'm enjoying it. But what do you think about the Sideways character? Let me know.